So I'm super excited to welcome you. I'm actually in my mom's kitchen in Ohio. So we are going to make tonight a recipe that's in the season's best. It is by far our favorite recipe of this season. It tastes like the best Chinese food I've ever had. It reminds me of P.F. Chang's, if anyone's a P.F. Chang fan. It comes together literally in about 20-25 minutes. So I'm going to take a little extra time because I want to talk to you about this pan before we actually start cooking. Our stainless steel nonstick wok is on sale this month for $99. And I know as we head into the holidays and life goes from crazy to insane, right? Cooking, it becomes even more of a challenge. And having the right pans can make such a difference. And here's what's super cool. I mean, these pans retail, the wok retails for $240. This month, you can get it as a customer for just $99. But those of you who are hosting and those of you who are like, well, maybe you're going to change your mind now and think about hosting your own virtual party this month, hosts can get this pan, I kid you not, for $39.60. You cannot buy a cheap pan at Walmart for $39.60. And this is our top of the line stainless nonstick cookware. This is actually the family skillet, but the wok is the same size. It's just a little bit deeper. I just don't happen to have it with me. We have 4 different items on sale this month that normally retail for $199 or higher that are on sale for $99. So it's the roaster, the cast iron Dutch oven, the wok, and the carving set, each for $99. And when you host in November, you can get 60% off that $99 sale price. So yeah, is that like crazy or what? I'm like, you'd be crazy not to host a party. $200 in sales get you that 60% off item. And like, I mean, that is so easy to do, especially this time of the year. So I just wanted to tell you about that up front, especially if you have pans that might be like this one. And this pan on the stove, I don't know if you can see it wobbling. The lid, it's warped, so the lid doesn't fit tight anymore. The coating, not so great, right? And this is actually one of the better shaped pans sitting around here these days. Oh, the handle's wobbly. These pans have the lifetime warranty. These pans are guaranteed to never warp. These pans are oven safe. These pans, I mean, this one is, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old at least, and it still looks like new. It's gorgeous. And this is actually my husband's favorite pan. So I just wanted to tell you about that before I got started cooking because it is such an incredible buy at $99, but at 60% off that, it's a steal. It's going to give you the pan that's going to do everything for you. You can throw those one-pot meals, whether it's a stove top meal or it's an oven meal or it's a start on the stove top and throw in the oven meal. It's going to give you that pan to do everything over the next, not just the next several months, but like, I mean, lifetime, right? So you can't get much better than that. All right, so this honey sriracha chicken uses our new seasoning, which is called honey sriracha. So yours is going to come in a bottle, and this is by far just, I wish you could taste it. Right now, we're going to heat up this oil, and the other thing I want to mention is that, well, a couple things. You do want to let your oil heat up before you put your food on because, and this is supposed to be 2 tablespoons. I never measure oil, so that looks good enough. 2 tablespoons of olive oil or something similar. And if you're going to use the olive oil, you want to use the low grade olive oil. So the stuff that's super cheap. The extra virgin olive oil that Rachel Ray made so famous, that is excellent for your salads, anything that you're going to use it raw. But when you're cooking, extra virgin olive oil has a very low smoking point. So it's not real good for cooking. So if you've ever tried cooking with olive oil and you end up with smoke everywhere, that's why. So you're better off using the low grade olive oil. And the difference is the extra virgin has only been pressed once, and that's why it's got that amazing flavor. They've just pressed those olives once. It's the first batch of oil. With each successive press, the oil in the olives is less flavorful, but it has a higher smoking point. So that's why the cheapo olive oil is really good for cooking. It gives you all the benefits of cooking with olive oil, but you don't deal with that low smoking point. So you still get some flavor, not as strong as the Evo, but it's easier to cook with, it's better to cook with. And that is my best tip for you from my husband, the chef. So the other thing is you want to make sure you let your oil heat before you put the food in. So good 3 to 5 minutes, just let it sit there. I know it's hard to wait. I usually set the timer on my watch so that I don't jump start it. And then you know the oil is hot enough to cook when it claps for you. You know, you throw a little splash of water on and it sizzles and it's applauding you and saying, yay, you waited. And I know those of you who've seen me at a live party, you've really missed my crazy, haven't you? I just know it. So anyway, so that's how you know it's hot enough. I do like to make sure I swirl it around the pan pretty well. Yes, these are nonstick. Nonstick does not mean you don't ever have to use oil. It just means that it's going to release your food much easier and you can usually get away with less oil. Sometimes though, I just want a little because it tastes really good. Okay, the other tip I have for you has to do with letting your chicken rest. So this is a tip actually straight from our test kitchens, which is that to season your chicken and let it just sit out for 15 or 20 minutes. Now, I don't know about you, but that's like, first time I heard it, I was like, wait, I thought chicken was like, you have to take it from the fridge and put it in the pan and cook it right away. And, you know, no, it can actually sit up for quite a while. I'm not saying leave your chicken out for hours at a time, but it certainly can sit out for a half hour, 45 minutes without any harm. And what happens is when you salt it, season it, and let it sit, it allows that salt to go into the fibers of the meat and it tenderizes your chicken. So it just makes it tender, it makes it juicy, it tastes better. And it's one of those crazy things that like, until I tried it, I didn't believe it, but it really does make a difference. Now, ideally, you could do this, stick it in the fridge, leave it overnight. I never think that far enough ahead, but if you do, you go for it. If you're one of those pre-planners that like does everything at the beginning of the week and then just pulls it out, you could season your meat. When you do all your other prep, just wrap it real good, pop it in your fridge, not freezer, in your fridge. And in that, the longer it sits in there, the better it is and makes it even more tender. Okay, so we have our chicken ready to go. Let's just make sure that oil is hot enough. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh yeah, for the sizzle. So we're gonna just lay these in here. Now I have these on a cutting mat, so I didn't want to get my cutting board dirty. So I love using these mats. And I'm actually putting they're boneless, skinless, but it would be the top side down. Other thing I always recommend strongly is that when you're cooking, especially chicken, you use a separate pair of tongs to start and then to finish. So these are actually just little tongs out of my mom's drawer. I will use the really nice tongs when it's time to serve it. But at home, I just have 2 pair. I have this pair and a smaller pair, and I use one to cook and the other to serve. Because what you don't want to do is you've been touching raw chicken with these, right? And if you keep using these after the chicken is cooked, you kind of have, you're gonna contaminate your cooked chicken. So while that's doing its thing, we're gonna slice up an onion and we're going to get a red pepper ready. If I were at home, I would be doing this slightly differently. If I were at home, I would be using my simple slicer, which would slice this onion up beautifully in like less than a minute. But I'm not, which is fine. So you get to see my chef's knife skills instead, which will work equally well, just not quite as quick. So again, I learned a lot from my husband, the chef. And one of them things that he taught me early was the importance of a good knife. So this is our forged chef knife. If you can see it there, it is the most used knife in my kitchen, and a good sharp knife is really the best thing ever. Now, if doing these big rings is like, nah, you can always cut it in half and do smaller things. The trick is just to keep your fingers behind and away from the blade. And there's like a knuckle grasp you can use that I've never really figured out, but I hold the root. So I don't know if you can see that, but I'm literally holding the root with my fingers and keeping them away from the blade. So these are the handmade, hand forged, really nice knives. if that's too scary, we do have the color cutted knives, which are stamped as opposed to hand forged. But they still are really good knives, especially for the price. However, I want to tell you, my favorite is this little guy. This is the little 5-inch Santoku knife. This is the one I use the most in my kitchen. And these are the knives that the men buy. Okay, they don't buy the stamped knives. Women, we buy the stamped knives. We look at the cost of these and we go, I don't know, there's a lot of money. Have you ever seen a guy do that standing in front of a hunting equipment or golf clubs? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't buy the titanium golf club. No, right? They buy the really nice one that they know is going to do the job. So give yourself permission to do the same. And again, when you host in November, you can get this knife for 60% off or free with your host rewards. So there's a lot of ways to get the higher quality products in your kitchen without having to break the bank. I have a saying in the culinary world called mise en place. I say we as if I'm a chef. My husband has that saying. Mise en place means having everything in place before you get started. And I thought I had it, but apparently I didn't. But it does make things even easier. And that's another tip for getting dinner on the table quickly, is do yourself the favor of spending 5 minutes gathering all the utensils, all of the groceries, the produce, whatever that you need. Have it all gathered together and then start cooking, because we all know the frustration of running around, looking for an ingredient or looking for a tool that you need to actually cook the food. And you can save yourself a lot of grief by having it all together at one time. So I want to show you one of my absolute favorite products called the Quick Slice. And it does pepper so beautifully. It's my favorite way to show it. So this little baby is like an egg slicer on steroids. Okay, it has actually serrated blades. I don't know if you can see them there, but they are serrated. And to slice this pepper, whether it's for this or maybe we were doing stir fry, literally cut it in half, take the seeds out, cut it on top, and there is my sliced pepper, just like that. Can you believe it? Then I'm just going to do the other one, like so. I do find if you put the flesh side up, it's the easiest way to push it through. There we go. More sliced peppers ready for your veggie tray or your stir fry or whatever. Now I want to show you a quick little tip. If you want diced peppers, slice them. I'm just going to do this one little piece here. Lay it crosswise, slice them again. And now we have perfectly diced pepper, just like that. How cool is that? So that's called a Quick Slice. It is dishwasher safe. It is the bomb. It saves so much time. And it's super easy to use. Back in the days of live parties, it was my #1 selling product. And for some reason with virtual, I don't show it as well. But it is a very much loved product among my customers. All right. We have 46 seconds left on that. What else can we get ready while we're waiting there? Onion. Oh, we have some broccoli. So I think of that head of broccoli at the grocery store. When I'm shopping at Wegmans, I just get the bag of the broccoli florets. Honestly, it's the same price per pound and they do all the work for you. But if you're using a stalk, scissors are an easy way to cut this off. And then I have the stalk over here and I'm just going to use it tomorrow to make some broccoli soup. So, and I do that in our cooking blender, which is a whole nother story for another day. But our cooking blender, you've never seen anything like it. It's amazing. Okay, so this chicken is done with this part. And so we are going to add the onion, bell pepper, and broccoli and cook for 3 minutes. Hurry, onion.
Police response. Because in here, your safety is the only thing that matters.
All right, I'm sorry. Somebody's talking and I can't hear you. Hold on. All right, did you ask a question?
Expensive gels that don't last, and you wiped them out. New Olay Hyaluronic Lightweight Gel Moisturizer is supercharged to hydrate 2 times longer and outlast.
Well, I have a feeling we're just hearing somebody's TV. So, okay. No worries. But if you have a question, please holler. All right, so we got that in here. We're throwing in the broccoli.
The chicken brown sauce.
Whoops, throwing some on the floor. Some things never change. So we're gonna actually put the lid on it for just a second. Get the onion off the floor. Wipe the onion up off the floor. And it's really noisy, actually. Okay, and then we're going to make our sauce. Let's see here. Yeah, got that going for 3 minutes. Perfect. We're going to add our garlic, and then we are going to make our sauce. So we're going to do that here in my other little bowl that I forgot to grab. So I have one sitting over here. I'm not sure where my medium-sized one is. I think it's in my fridge at home with peanut butter in it. This is the large. These are the silicone prep bowls. Love, love, love these little guys, and you're gonna see why here in just a minute. So we need a 1/4 cup of honey for this. And we're gonna do that in our measure-all cup. Now this is epic, you guys. Like I said, I'm at my mom's and we have, let's just do this the easy way. We have this measure-all cup. It's the original measure-all cup. Like, I don't know, this thing is easily 25 years old. And this is the one you're gonna want when you're making your pie and you're having to measure shortening, or you're making your favorite Christmas cookie and you're having to measure peanut butter and it's goopy and yucky. And I'll bet those of you who've been around Pampered Chef for a while already have one, but in case you haven't, you set the cup to the measurement you need, you fill it, and then you push it out and it all comes out, and you're not trying to dig things out of a measuring cup. This is the 2 cup. I recommend getting the mini measure-all cup, which is a 1 cup, unless you are measuring lots of big things a lot of the time. The 1 cup is usually enough, and you're just gonna love it. It's so amazing. Okay, we have honey. We need half a lime juiced. So we're gonna cut our lime in half using one of those sticky knives. And we're gonna use one of my favorite products, which is the citrus press. On the floor, scissors, yay! So first we're gonna do the garlic press. So I always say that the citrus press is literally like the garlic press for citrus. So the garlic press, by the way, a little garlic 101 here. Most of you probably know this. If your recipe calls for a clove of garlic, this is a bulb, okay? And this little guy is your clove. So bulb, clove. If that seems obvious, you would not believe the number of people who hand me one of these, or they call me, that's the best, or I get the text message. They use this when they only really needed this. And yes, there's a significant difference in flavor, depending on those 2 things. So we're gonna stick that in there with our garlic press. Stir this in. Oh, we got some really nice color on that broccoli. These pans are also dishwasher safe, FYI. So I think I mentioned that they're oven safe, but they also are dishwasher safe. And then citrus press, so same idea. With the citrus press, you're gonna put your lime or lemon in upside down. So it's gonna seem backwards, but it's actually gonna then turn it inside out and get you all that wonderful citrus flavor. All right, so we have lime and soy sauce and the honey sriracha seasoning. This is literally almost done, guys. You're not even gonna believe it. Because we're literally gonna add this. We're gonna get the soy sauce. All right, so we're gonna whisk this all together. So if you're one of those cooks that, like, if it calls for 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt for your stir fry and you measure 3/4 of a teaspoon, I might be driving you crazy and I apologize. I'm married to a chef. I measure when I bake, but I don't usually measure too much when I'm cooking. I kind of do the, oh, that looks good. We're literally just gonna toss this in. Like so. And again, the reason I love these silicone bowls is they're squishy, so it's easy to get sauces out. The other thing I like about them is they're microwave safe, so they're super handy for heating things up in your microwave. All right, so we have that in there. All that's left is to add the cornstarch, which is going to thicken this up. So we've got 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of cold water. You wanna add this cold water to the cornstarch and then put it in here. If you try to add this to this, you will end up with a plumpy yuck of a mess. Doesn't work. So you just wanna add your cold water into the cornstarch, slurry it up, and then we're gonna throw it in here. Up on the chicken, it should be at least 165. You want it between 165 and 170. No hotter than that, because then it starts to get tough. Okay, so this was at 168, so it's perfect. I'm gonna turn it off. One thing I wanted to mention earlier too is that you wanna make sure that you're using the right size burner for your pan, especially on electric. So you want the pan to match the burner. So this big pan went on the big burner, but if you've got a smaller pan, you could use one of the smaller burners, but you wanna kind of match the size. That gives you the most efficient use of energy and keeps your cookware looking prettier longer. So this is our honey sriracha chicken. It is 7:30. So we did it in less than 30 minutes, and that was with me telling you all the wonderful things about these pans. So since I got hosts on here, I just want to remind you too, you're going to get up to 2 things at 60% off as the host, in addition to your free and your half price. And that includes any of those 4 items that are on sale for $99. You get half off or 60% off the sale prices. So any of those items that have been on your wish list, or they might be now,
Maybe now.
Order. Huh?
Maybe now.
Maybe now, yeah, right? So when we do your order, I will work with you to make sure you're getting the very best deal on whatever's on your wish list, okay? All right, now I'm over time. So thank you again for joining me live, and y'all have a great night. Bye.